501.
Last one.
Was this in this matter?
Yes.
The attorney has yesterday. We just met and we will resolve them.
If you could all sit together and, maybe
Yes,
resolve them
yes,
between yourselves.
we'll resolve.
On the issue, I guess all of you can.
Correct, we'll do that. But in the meantime,
There are so many of them.
yes.
Because one Electricity Act matter, which just Narasimha and I asked the members of the bar to do that, we got only 28 issues or something like that. So
That's a problem even in the Maharashtra. Nobody is able to resolve it. But anyway, so Maharaj, in this, or just put it after vacation, we'll resolve the issues and we'll give you how the matters are to be segregated.
Right.
So Maharaj, that we will do immediately
So
after
if you
vacation.
could all maybe sit down together and segregate the
Yes,
matters
we segregate
different
it.
groups,
Yeah.
and which matter falls in which.
That's correct.
That
Then
we
your
must
lordship
ask
can give
the
it.
same while writing the judgment.
That's right.
Maybe also for the purpose of addressing arguments in the case, it will be a lot easier.
Yes.
Lord, on hearing the matters, I think there is a broad consensus that your lordships may first go into the question of validity of section 6A.
That's correct.
So therefore, this first petition, which is 562, along with, Lord, there is another matter which the two judges referred to, which is challenging section 3. Lord, both these may be heard together first.
Give that, your lord.
Now keep it just once for directions.
That's right.
At the end of the first week, so that by then you have sorted out.
That's correct. That's
Mr. Attorney.
That we do.
Those matters which are only section
The same
6 days
a
in
segregated list,
they can be heard. There are some matters which have to be segregated and heard later.
Other matters.
So we'll say that it has been agreed. It has been agreed between Mr. Buks. It has been agreed between the Learned Attorney General, and the Learned Solicitor General on the one hand. And Mr. Kapil Sibal and
We are the only petitioner.
Dave and Sira Jai Singh, then senior counsel, appearing on behalf of the contesting parties. That bracket 1, the learned counsel appearing on behalf, the learned counsel formulate the issues which would arise for decision after having a joint conference between themselves, semicolon, and bracket 2, counsel would segregate the cases.
Category of matters, Maharaj.
Categorize or segregate.
Segregate the cases which fall. Segregate the cases which fall for decision before this court into distinct categories,
Yes.
and the order in which arguments would be addressed with reference to the issues in categories.
That's correct.
Some of the matters may perhaps not require the consumption of time by the constitution bench. Once we
So we will
segregate,
segregate that.
So that you can then,
yes.
those may have to go back before the regular bench.
that's
Frankly,
point out from the main order of reference of 17 December 2014,
Right.
there were two issues which I had said can be the preliminary issues, which was on delay, because it has been 40 years, my lord, these rights have got created, there was numbers.
Fair enough. All that we will do is, you can also join the conference which all the learned counsel will have, so that you can add those. There's no.
Fair enough.
You don't.
As preliminary, but
So long as you're not, so long as you are inclusive in the issues which you formulate, I think that should meet
Fair
the
enough.
requirement.
the issues be framed, then we can request for.
Very well.
8 and 9 in the order of reference itself. The question is whether after a period of 40 years, people who have acquired citizenship can now be denied citizenship. Would your lordship be pleased to hear that as a preliminary issue?
We'll decide that.
That you, I suppose that between all of you will be able to sort this out. That's why I've said that these issues will be drawn up in an inclusive manner.
That's
Mr.
right.
Attorney, solicitor.
We'll sit together, Maharaj, we'll sort this out.
Dushyant Dave, can all, ma'am, can all.
But only one request, my lords. Some of the learned friends, my lord, have not given copies. My learned friend was coordinating as directed by our lordships. So segregation is little difficult in absence of pleadings. The request is, my lord, if they can give the copies. That's all.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. We'll make sure, and please make sure that, scanned copies of the pleadings are exchanged between
Yes,
the
yes.
parties, so that then we freeze it at one folder of scanned copies. Then there's no change in pagination. Everybody's on the same pagination.
Lord,
So
subject to what the learned Attorney General and learned Solicitor General say, my lord, and I respectfully submit that, Lord, the writ petition 562 along with two other writs and my lord, this writ petition 311 should be fixed first because they relate to challenge on 6A. Now, in that challenge, one of the grounds can be, as my learned friend says, delay. Although we are not supporting that because we are saying that, my lord, it is not valid. But be that as it may, that can be taken up first because that's the real reference. The other issues which are framed on are really grounds that section 6A is valid or not. If your lordship were to see Justice, no, if your lordship were to see Justice Nariman's reference, your lordships will find that besides delay, the other issues on 6A really are different challenges to 6A.
So it's really, these are different facets to.
Different facets.
So
really one.
right.
Valid.
Issues. We'll sit together and sort.
Prioritize something we can all sort out. All
I
right.
make one suggestion.
And now we can keep this, brother. Once again, place it formally for direction.
Yes.
But we then know that it's ripe. All
That's right, that's right.
That's right.
So we can keep it for directions. When should we keep it? So tell us what would be an ugly date. Don't take the 23rd, the week of the 23rd. That's all.
All right, 33rd.
Just to keep it for direction on the 31st. Will that be enough time for all of you to?
There's much more than enough time, Malad. We have.
It can be earlier also. We can keep it for directions on the 10th if you want.
That's fine,
That's better.
that's fine,
Yeah,
that's better.
There's another CBI.
10th, Malad.
So we keep it on the 17th. Oh, we have another CB going for the NCT of Delhi. So we'll keep it on the 10th. So we'll hear.
10th is fine, fine, obliged.
This gives us a good opportunity to visit the learned Attorney General's chamber, having not been invited so far for a coffee.
No, that's not a
May I
problem.
make one
I'll have a high tea arranged for you.
May I make one suggestion?
10th of February.
Instead of lawyer,
You're asking for very little. I thought you would say that there should be a housewarming or something.
yes,
As they say.
but there is one suggestion. Instead of advocates exchanging pleadings, sometimes we get incomplete pleadings, etc. Some intervention applications are also there. If your lordships can consider directing or requesting the registry to give a soft copy to every one of us.
That's
The list of matters
Shall give a soft
pre-segregation.
copy of a complete set of a scanned soft copy of complete set of the pleadings.
matters.
This is the list. This is
Which are two?
pre-segregation.
Who are the two nodal counsel?
Yes, sir. That's
please, Malad. Hussain.
Diksha Rai and
10th February, January,
दोनों का नाम लो.
10th January.
10th January.
I may be before the Bhopal Constitution bench on that day, 2 days below.
Only for direction. Start NCT.
Between us.
Very well.
We are only keeping it so that if there's something to be sorted out, we are here to help you
Fair
get
enough.
sorted, get it
But
sorted.
may I give the list of matters? This is pre-segregation. I think
Just give it and
we have
Yeah.
the same list, Madam.
Pleadings and applications,
For the registry.
several applications also.
fair enough.
Lord, may I make one submission? Lord, there is one matter, 501.14, that's section 3A issue, Lord. I have moved an application on behalf of the state of Arunachal Pradesh, IA 189,448, because we have the same concerns. My Lord, Justice Krishna Murari would recall, my Lord, there is this issue of citizenship to children of illegal Chakma migrants. Lordship may kindly permit us to be impleaded as a party. I will complete everything before the next date of hearing.
No, I don't think that should.
Do it. You can have it.
Yes. The judicial may be different. Sorry?
This is Arunachal Pradesh. no?
It's not, the issue is again of children of illegal migrants being in a position to control consequences.
6 has nothing to do with them.
So whether,
Let's do this.
you know, that section 318,
Let's first complete this, then we will move on to the
it
next.
was mentioned, Malad, that red petition
I know, but let's, let's complete the process insofar as the first matter. Otherwise, what will happen is that the first matter will get unnecessarily
Derailed.
complicated and delayed. Let's complete the exercise by the 10th of January. When the matter opens, you can tell us what your matter is about. Once we, in 5 minutes, once we hear arguments, we can take a call.
I was under the impression that civil writ petition 311 of 2015 may be one of the first petitions to be taken up. I am moving an application in that writ petition. Well, I will not take
All right,
any
we'll
time.
deal with the.
So there's only one prayer. The center may perhaps like to file an affidavit giving latest status report. Because nobody is we only go on to online and try and find out from the various sites of the government agencies. That perhaps may not be proper for us.
Certainly, just bear that.
I'll examine it.
On the
I'll
10th, you can come back.
I will examine it and see.
Get for direction.
The lordships are.
Yes. All right. So now we take the next matter.
Yes.
No, the lordship is not passing any order on my application.
No,
We are just repeating pending counsel, we have told you, we'll consider on that date.
Very well.
Well, in the Maharashtra matter, there's a little difficult. Well, we as council have not been able to resolve the issue. We tried. Well, I don't know, but there are too many issues floating around. I would request your lordships, that we forward to you, and your lordships may resolve it.
Mr. Call, Mr. Solicitor, what is the difficulty in Mr. Jet?
No, my lords,
all of you.
I think we were all to some extent at fault because that meeting, which was to take place as your lordships had directed, happened just the evening before the next date of hearing. And there may have been some differences, possibly if they can suggest to us what are their suggested alterations, we could respond because that very.
I suggested, then you suggested that.
Well, all that I can say is you are the senior most in this group. So the fault lies exclusively at your door.
I accept.
Hospitable enough to your colleagues on the other
I
side.
accept my fault, I shall resolve it. Just put it up.
Just sit down together. What is the difficulty? These are once before the Constitution bench. These are matters of intellectual moments. I mean, I think you can.
Actually, issues are framed in the order itself. The issues that are framed by the court, there's no need for anything else.
We can't
want the matter to be.
The court has framed the issues.
Yes, well, that's what I said. So the issues are framed. So you are happy to argue.
Thought was that if sometimes what happens is you frame those issues at a preliminary stage when you're making the reference.
Yes.
Sometimes as you look into a matter, you realize that some issues may not really arise.
Yeah, that's correct.
Other issues can be combined. They can shorten the whole.
Your lordships will take a call, at that time when we argue the matter as to whether this arises.
Otherwise, we are happy to argue the way there are 8 or 9 of them.
Yeah.
At that stage, my learned friend is right if your lordship.
All right, then.
Yes, great.
There's only one thing that I want to point out to your lordships. One of the issues relates to, the first issue relates to the decision in Nabam Rebia in respect of the removal of the speaker. That issue may actually have to be dealt with by 7 distinguished judges if we're able to persuade that judgment is wrong.
To refer Nebium. That will, of course, the 5 will have to consider that.
Yes, yes.
That's so that will be, I'm just pointing out that may happen, that.
You can certainly address arguments and they will answer those.
Yes, absolutely.
We'll bear it in mind.
Well, as your lordship may consider fixing it after the NCT matter.
The 10th of our directions.
Very well.
Just to give the dates that by then we would have completed NCT.
10th of January.
Is it possible to just, for that issue, to have a separate hearing on that? I'll tell your lordship the reason.
What we will do is
To be a consolidated.
One second.
Mr. Sibal, what we can do is,
Yes.
when we open, you can certainly address us
That issue.
taken up first.
Otherwise, time will be wasted. Supposing your lordships agree with us, it'll have to go to 7 judges.
Maharaj, whichever date your lordship fixes, my learned friend can address on the first issue.
I'm saying we can start with that.
So now that Mr. Sibal has given his mind,
Yes.
he would be proposing to address us on referring Nebium to a 7-judge bench.
Yes.
You can also be prepared on that.
Right.
That's
right.
In fact, of course, that we will have to submit on that day. But for deciding that also, your lordship may have to have the holistic picture.
Of course.
May not be possible, my lord.
Obviously. We'll have to have some
Nebium, lord.
no holistic picture in the sense, some basic statement of fact.
Yes, there's no issue. There's no matter.
We will.
Normally, we want the
Deciding
matter
that
to
as
be
a
fixed.
preliminary
Your Lordship may consider fixing it after NCT, Malaj.
Without
So, Sibyl, my learned brother Justice Narasimha has a very good suggestion. I'll just put it to my Justice. Mr. Sibyl, what Brother Narasimha's suggestion that, why you're seeking a reference of Nebim to a 7-judge bench, you may prepare a short 2-page or 3-page note,
Yes.
which you can share with the others.
Yes, we'll do that.
So that they know what your line of submissions
Yes.
is. So that.
Yes, absolutely. We'll do that.
And likewise, if thereafter you want to circulate a note, why it shouldn't, you can prepare. So we'll have.
That's right. Fair enough. We will. That can be a short hearing and then your lordship can decide.
I appear for the governor, but I would also like to say something as a proposition of law, not for the governor, whether it needs reconsideration.
that also you should make a note.
Whether,
Make a note on that.
whether that can be done in a segregated manner or consolidated.
Whatever.
That's very much, you make a note on that.
Mr. Kapil Sibal, Learned Senior Counsel, submits that when the reference is taken up before this court, he would be arguing for a reference of the correctness of the view of the Constitution bench in Nebun Rebia.
Yeah, correct.
Just give the citation.
I'll give the citation.
To a 7-judge bench. Full stop. In order to full stop. It has been agreed that Mr. Sibal, Mr. Kapil Sibal, and Senior Counsel, shall circulate a brief note of his submissions on the proposed reference to a 7-judge bench that he would seek. Full stop. The note shall be circulated at least 2 weeks in advance, appearing on behalf of the governor of Maharashtra. Likewise, on receipt of,
And the private respondents.
yeah, and the respondents. Likewise, the respondents would be at liberty to circulate a brief note of submissions responding to the note which will be circulated by Mr. Sibal. Full stop. Both sets of notes shall be compiled by the nodal council and circulated to the court in the electronic mode at least a week before the next date of hearing.
The citation is 216.8 SCC page 1, 2016 SCC.
We'll again list it for directions just on the 10th, just to make sure that this exercise.
Because there is an element of urgency in this matter because.
10th of January.
Yes, and then a date as early date as possible, because
Yes,
the election
that
is going on with the matter.
Certainly, we'll do that on the 10th.
Please, thank you.
So that with that, all the procedural formalities would be completed.
Right.
Now, we'll not pass a procedural order. Please ask the registry will circulate the scanned copies to the nodal council.
Yes.
Please make sure that, all of you have one set of scanned copies
With the same pagination.
between each of you and all of us, so that we don't have to shuffle papers there.
No, Maharaj, we are now
Yes.
trying to learn to be paperless.
Yes.
Thank you.
Great.
Very grateful.